I'm starting out with a piece of maple. It's 4 by 5, and we'll go ahead and get it put in between centers and get it trued up. And then I'm going to go ahead and put a tenon down on one end of it so we can grab it in the chuck. So I was over visiting my grandmother a couple weeks ago, and she showed me one of these and asked if I would make one for her. Absolutely. She's going to be 97 here pretty soon. So now that I have the tenon on, we'll get it in the chuck. So we're going to make a little lidded box, and with a little bit of a twist on it, and you'll see that later on in the video. So this whole piece is going to be the base and the lid. So I'm just going to start working on that. The top part here is going to be the base of the box, or the body of it. And I'm just getting it cleaned up, and it's kind of a cylinder box. The one my grandma showed me was square and had a little drawer in it, but I don't do square stuff, so we're going to make a round one. So, and then the bottom half of it there that's in the chuck, that will be the lid here in a second. Help support the companies that support our community. Now that I have the outside shaped, we'll go ahead and start cleaning out the inside. And for that, I'm going to use the #1 hollower. We'll just get it all cleaned out, and then I'm going to make a recess up on the outside of the wall. Once I got it cleaned out, I went ahead and ran through all the grits. I'm just sanding this all dry. I do need to glue something on later on, so we'll just run through all the grits up to 600 and then get it parted off. There we go. And now this is going to be the lid again, and I'm going to go ahead and make a tenon on it and then use that to clean up the bottom of the box. Just taking my time, making sure the tenon's tight. Afterwards, I am going to bring the tenon down a little bit more because I don't want it friction fit. I want to be able to, her to be able to just lift it up and it come right off. But to get the bottom cleaned up, I'm making it pretty tight so it will stay on the lathe. There we go, and then I'll just clean up the bottom of it. And again with the #1 hollower, and then I'll run through all the grits and sand all of that up. Once I got that sanded up, went ahead and just brought the tenon down a little bit, and I come back here in a second and bring it down a little bit more too once I start working on the top of it. But just, I have kind of a loose fit on it, but I'm just cleaning up. This is the inside of the lid. We'll get all that cleaned up and run through all the grits on it. So once I got that sanded, went ahead and brought down the lip here, and so this is where it's going to seat up against the box. And once I get it in the chuck the other way, I wouldn't be able to get in right in there, so I'm doing this part first, and then we'll flip it around. I'm just using the lid or the base to make sure it's all even and lined up, and then we'll take it out of the chuck. And I do need to change the jaws to the bigger jaws here real quick. Then I'm going to take off all this material here. It's held in there nicely from that tenon. We'll get all of this cleaned up off of here and get this sanded. And the last thing is I'm going to drill a hole in it just about halfway in. This is going to be for a dowel here in a minute. All right. Now that that's done, we're moving on. I got to break out the scroll saw for this project. So on the top of this box is a little duck where your scissors, you can put your scissors and hold on to them. So you see that in a minute. But yeah, so I just used the scroll saw to cut it out, and it worked really well. I don't get to use the scroll saw very much. And I just put a sanding pad on my little sanding wheel there and went ahead and rounded over all the edges, got it all kind of cleaned up. And then here in a minute, I'm going to drill a hole down through its head for the scissors. So we just kind of lined it up to where the scissors are going to go in the back of it, and then they'll come out and look like the beak. So I didn't show all of this, but I drilled a hole down in it, and then I used the drill bit to kind of go back and forth and from side to side to open that hole up. And it was a long little process of just kind of wiggling it back and forth to get it to the scissors to fit in there. And so there's that little hole for the dowel. I drilled another hole in the bottom of the duck. for the dowel too, and then we will glue them together. And you can see the hole there now. So I just kind of wiggled it back and forth and opened that up. Now I'm just putting some walnut oil on it, getting it all soaked down. There we go, it is all done, and the scissors fit right inside just like that. So again, it's all out of maple, and what I did is I made the lid. It's got a little bit of wiggle to it so that she can take it off, and I made a smaller version. So the one she showed me was, I don't know, it was pretty good size, and it had a full size set of scissors in it. But I thought this would be a nice one to fit on her nightstand and put little bits and bobs in it, and then have a little pair of scissors there. So it was a fun little project. Yeah, she showed me, so we took a picture and came home, and I just kind of shrunk the actual picture down to make the little duck. But you could do, you know, a variety of different, you know, do a different bird or something like that. But it was a fun one, or a penguin or something. But it was a fun project. It's 4 inches in diameter and about 7 inches tall. All right, hope you enjoyed the video. Everybody take care, and we will see you next time.